I have been super busy for the past couple weeks, so I haven't had time to unbox my packages. These are all sent to me by brands, and I am so thankful. So let's go ahead and do a huge PR unboxing haul.
I have no idea what's in any of these. 2 months worth of PR packages.
This is no hate to that creator, but like, what are we doing as a society that this is normal?
Probably easier just to show you. So, yeah.
At what point are we going to realise that we just cannot keep going consuming at the rate that we do? I get it, big corporations are who we need to stop with all of their polluting and the impact that they have, but we also need to stop romanticizing stuff like that. Beds full of skincare products that you will not be able to use all of in your lifetime. It's going to go out of date, you're going to get bored of it, you're going to bin it, and it's just promoting overconsumption. And I'm sorry, but some individuals also need to be held accountable for the massive impact they have on the planet when so many go without and are being impacted by the consumption that these other people do.
This is your sign to get rid of all of your Stanleys because the new...
Can we stop? Can we stop? Can we stop? What if we actually used our recyclable water bottles, what they're for, to be reused, and stopped making a new trending water bottle every 6 months? It's so annoying and it is so bad for the environment. Our planet cannot handle this level of overconsumption, and it's influencers and businesses like this that just make it so much worse. Just use what you have. Oh my God, it's not that hard.
So, are we ready to talk about the impact that influencers have on overconsumption? Given that they take sponsorship after sponsorship that they know is unethical, they post haul after haul, entire walls full of perfumes they'll never use, blush organizing videos where they have 50 different blushes, clothing hauls where you never see any of the things that they buy in those hauls ever again. You never see them worn, you never see them in their closets, they just disappear. Because I don't know if y'all heard, but there was an influencer who was literally flown to China by Shein, sponsored by them, and then was given a tour of what was clearly a fake model factory where they produce samples. And she made a video and she tried to say that Shein isn't complicit in human rights abuses and tried to basically plug Shein. And she spent so much time talking about there's a narrative that's spoon-fed to us by the West, and it was like, girl, you're pushing the narrative right now. What are you talking about? You're being spoon-fed the narrative. Influencers and influencer culture are genuinely so bad for our wallets and for our planet. It is crazy to me, the sheer amount of shit that they will push that they don't even believe is a good product just because they were paid to say whatever to their audience. Of course, this influencer seems to genuinely believe that Shein is good because she made another video doubling down on it, but it is as morally bankrupt and unethical as it gets. When your entire job is just to get your audience of people who adore you and trust you to buy whatever product you've been paid to push this week. And what really gets me is that in the video, it is so obviously a model factory. There's no safety signage everywhere. You see one emergency exit and then there's nothing else for the rest of the video. There are no garments on the machinery, and in order for fast fashion to sustain itself, you need to be constantly making tons of garments at once. There's no safety information anywhere in the factory. You can see at a point in the video where they're like only cutting one garment at a time on like one of the machines, and that's not how the production of clothing works. At least not in bulk fashion production, because that's not very efficient. Like, at the prices that Shein sells their clothing, they literally cannot afford to be cutting one garment at a time. It's ridiculous, it's propaganda, and it's ugly. It's an ugly thing to do.
Girlies, can we just have a moment of brutal honesty with each other? The overconsumption promoted on this app is insane. It is absolutely not normal for a 20-something-year-old to afford $1,500 facials, to spend hundreds of dollars on decorations every time a new holiday rolls around. Don't get me started on the like $200, $300 sweaters on one sweater. Do not feel bad if your life does not look like that. Even when I was making like $300,000 a year, I could not afford all that. The lifestyle inflation is insane. I am going like the opposite direction in my life right now, where I'm in my lifestyle deflation era. Like, you know what's behind this curtain? It's a freaking garage. It is not normal to have every shade of one lip oil. If someone on this app has every shade of one product, likely they did not pay for it with their own money. They were sent it for free to promote it to you. You're thinking, Mitchie, this is so hypocritical of you to say, weren't you so feral in your spending last year? You are absolutely correct. But even as I was making hundreds of thousands of dollars above the national average, I still could not keep up with the perfectly aesthetic and curated lifestyles that tend to perform well in this app. Overconsumerism is out of control, especially in this economy. And frankly, that content is not meant to be relatable to the everyday person. It's meant to be aspirational. A lot of these brands, when they pick influencers to sponsor and work with, they actually look for that aspirational element because they want you to look up at that person and want to buy the things that make you feel closer to that lifestyle. It is perfectly okay to enjoy that type of content. I sure as hell do. I think it's just good to remind ourselves that that is not normal and you do not need your life to look like that to be happy.
I've been so annoyed by the materialism of influencers. It's actually pressing me, but it's the ones that I see that do a vlog, right? And they show a huge PR haul in the beginning of their vlog. And they'll be getting like 30 lip liners from like nice ass companies, concealers, blushes, skincare, makeup, clothing, jewelry, everything, right? And not just like one of each thing, like in excess. But then they'll literally go multiple times a week to Sephora, the mall, to really expensive stores and buy a fuck ton of shit. And I'm like, why did you need that? Like, you go to Sephora because you needed these lip liners. Like, babe, you already got gifted like 50 of them. It's exhausting, honestly. Like, are they saving? Or are they just making that much money? I don't know. You guys might be like, oh, if you're broke, then just say that. Well, I am broke. So maybe that's part of it.
I have a little bone to pick with the influencers, specifically the ones that are promoting similar products in the same category. Now, let me preface this by saying I'm jealous. If I was getting paid well to promote these products, someone was emailing me saying, oh, we'll pay you $10K to promote this product, I'd be like, yeah, keep it coming. Let the checks roll in. So I get it. Get your bag. It's expensive to live these days. And some of you live in New York City, LA. These cities are expensive. But what I don't understand is when they're promoting similar products in the same category. There's this one influencer I follow who I love her. I'm gonna keep following her. But I have seen her promote so many makeup brands, so many hair care brands. She's gone on so many influencer trips for companies in the beauty industry. And that messaging is confusing to consumers. It makes people think that they need to buy every single product that you promote. And it makes us confused because it's like, weren't you just talking about a very similar product from another company last week? So then which one should we buy? Which one do you actually like? I think the days of promote are coming to an end. And rightfully so, because consumers can't be fooled anymore. This alone has taught me to take everything that influencers say with a grain of salt, because some people are more inclined to want to get the paychecks and some people are more concerned with being intentional with what they promote. Like I said, I understand. You got to make a living somehow, but I'm just telling you, your followers are getting overwhelmed. It's a lot.
So glad that we're all collectively waking up and questioning why influencers do a $500 Target Christmas decoration run every year and act like that's normal. It's just so wasteful. My family's had the same Christmas decorations for literally like 20 years. And then they frame it as, oh, we're doing a little Christmas shopping. Like, your little haul is the budget of gifts for my entire family. Like, what?
Some influencers are so unrelatable and so far from reality that I struggle even like connecting with them at all. Right now, a large majority of Americans are struggling and trying to determine how they're going to give their kids Christmas gifts, while we have influencers who are like, come with me to do a Target haul to redo my whole entire house for Christmas. Oh, but I will make sure that it's an affordable Target haul. Like, there's nothing affordable about your 6 large Target bags and 3 brand new Christmas trees. I don't want to go spend $10 on a Christmas tree I found on Facebook Marketplace, let alone afford those 6 bags you just bought at Target. Or the influencers who like give their 1-year-old a $10,000 birthday party. I'm not totally hating on them, like good for them, they've been successful, but I just find it so unrelatable and not realistic at all for like at least 90% of Americans who mostly are struggling and living paycheck to paycheck. I I can't with that type of influencer content creator. I just can't, because I don't relate to it. It's just not me.
TikTok is great, but the consumerism that it drives is absolutely insane. And I'm thinking about this because I kind of got caught up in this the other day. And an influencer posted this face mask that was supposed to be really awesome. So of course I went and bought it right away because it's accessible, it's at my fingertips, and I did it last night and it was nice, hydrating, but it was not how they explained it. And I think this is a good example too right now of how people are trying to really monetize their social media and like make a living off of it, which I understand. But with that, you have to be so careful about what you're purchasing, because is it truly good, or do they just want the Amazon revenue from it? And especially like in the health and wellness community, this makes me really nervous because a lot of people are dishing out money to make themselves feel better. And that's why I'm always so hesitant on pushing products on my page. If you notice, I rarely do that. Because at the end of the day, health is not one size fits all, and I never want to make people feel like you cannot heal your hormones unless you take these supplements.
This just needs to be said, and it's going to ruffle some feathers, but the bottom line is that we are consuming so much crap. And it genuinely makes me sick that we don't talk about this more, but the fact that you can go on TikTok shop and buy a pair of fuzzy slippers for $2.07 and not think about at what cost you're able to buy it for so cheap, that to me just actually makes my insides curl up like this. Because I know for a fact that there is probably some child or woman or innocent civilian working in a factory in China working their fingers to the bone and not getting paid any money so that you and I can have our cheap little slippers from TikTok shop that we can put right next to our other slippers and right next to our Uggs and right next to all of our other crap in our closet that we don't need. And on top of that, there are so many influencers coming out right now talking about products that they've promoted that they actually don't like. Makes me so infuriated because I have fallen susceptible to that. I've spent my hard-earned money as a normal consumer to buy things like the Tarte Concealer. When, for example, this influencer came out yesterday and said, coverage is good, but cakey, looks fake and not good for everyday wear. However, she came on the internet and told us that she loved it and that she wants to wear it every single day and that we all need to go buy it right now. But she was just getting paid to say those things. She didn't actually think any of those things. And so I went and bought the concealer, and I can agree, that concealer is not that great. And I understand that supporting influencers is basically supporting them as like a small business, and I'm all for that because I love supporting small businesses. However, there has to be a certain standard of like ethics or morals within it. I just can't stand the thought of people coming in front of their camera and acting like they love this beauty product and telling all of us to go spend our money on this beauty product even though they were gifted it for free. Not only gifted it, they were paid to say that it's a great product when it's really not a great product. This is not a general statement. This is not all influencers whatsoever. I know there are so many incredible influencers out there that genuinely only share their real and honest opinions of things they really like. But us as consumers, we have to be more discerning of what we're going to spend our money on. And the reality of it is, if you have a concealer that you like, you don't need to go buy another one just because your favorite influencer is wearing it. For example, I did not need to buy this Stanley last year at Christmas time because I have a cabinet full of Hydro Flasks that don't leak and that also fit in my car cup holder. So why did I go spend money on this Stanley? Simply because everyone was telling me I had to have it. Anyways, that is my soapbox for the day, and I will get down. And I hope everyone is having a wonderful morning. And I hope that this didn't come across as judgmental or too much or whatever. But we just all need to save our money, okay?
January is when you really start to understand how addicted your favorite influencers are to shopping. Look, game recognized game. But we are 21 days into the new year and people are already folding on their no-buys. And even though everyone says they're sick of influencers and overspending and overconsumption and mindless shopping, go to their comment sections. Guess what you'll find? Comment after comment after comment. Whatever, queen, you deserve it. It was on sale. You can't pass that up. It's an investment piece. Girl, you are an enabler. Your favorite influencer who you claim to love is compulsively shopping, cannot stop herself, set a goal for herself that she's falling short of. And instead of being there to give a little gentle support to get back on track, you're like, want another hit? What's funny, well, it's not funny, but we only think about overconsumption in terms of dollar signs. There's this idea that the only harm that comes from shopping too much is overspending money that you don't have. And if you've got the money, like, might as well go for it, girl. But there are way more harms to overconsumption than that. There's the time and mental space taken up by shopping for your never-ending search for the Holy Grail. There is the opportunity cost. So what were you not able to buy because you were buying clothes, bags, and shoes? And of course, there's that compulsive feeling. When your shopping is out of control, you're not even making choices. Otherwise, you could just choose to stick by your no-buy. You're shopping compulsively. And if there's a piece of your life that's out of control, your whole shit's out of control. There's a certain amount of agency that you've given up to shopping. All this to say, like, if you see your favorite influencers shopping crazy after they said they wouldn't, a little tough love, a little accountability, a little less yes, queen, a little more huh, queen.